Hello, Scott here, and we are here with yet another completely unprofessional unboxing. It's been a while since I've done a few, and I'm pretty much close to caught up on everything that I have in backlog. So this might be the last unboxing video for a bit, but I think, just to kind of keep this channel rolling with fun stuff and just kind of keep me busy aside from all the other things that I have. Um, I don't know. I may do a couple in-depth looks at some of the RPGs. Like I'd mentioned, I wanted to look more in depth at Black Void. Page through, flip through, that kind of thing. Something to where I can give some attention to several of the games that I have on my shelves, and that will kind of force me to look into it. Like so many out there who have been, lucky enough, their libraries have increased exponentially during lockdown. And even now that we've returned to, well, somewhat of an open society with, questionable intent by some or a few. But anyways, zip, let's throw that out and we won't discuss it further. But there's been a lot of retail therapy that's went on for myself, my friends, and other people that I know. So there's quite a few RPGs that other than picking them up, giving them a decent flip through, maybe a half a reading, don't get the love and attention and care that they deserve. So maybe bringing some of these to the forefront would be a good idea from this point on. I don't know. We'll see. What do you think? But anyways, we have here another box. This one comes from Exalted Funeral. This is another fulfillment aspect from the Old School Essentials Kickstarter, and I believe this is it. This is an adventure inside of here. So let's open it up and take a look and see what it is. Trusty Coleman camping steak knife. I think I describe this thing in several different ways every time. I don't get it straight. It's either the steak knife that goes camping or the Coleman camping knife that steaks. Whatever the case may be, we are 8-9 months in and still no injury, but hopefully that day will come. And that will be the day that I get all the hits. So, okay. And kind of open it up slowly just because of the whole invoicing thing. So, nope, not an invoice inside here. Okay. And let's put that front and center. Get rid of the packaging. Okay. So, what we have here, Old School Essentials, Official Adventure Scenario, Holy Mountain Shaker by Luka Rejec, if I'm not mistaken. Once again, I may be mispronouncing it. Interesting cover here. Obviously it's a koi fish, from, looks like something that may have come out, or a catfish, one of those. But definitely immediately, just from the look here, kind of has somewhat of an Asian flair to it. Just the look and the type of fish here. But anyways, it's not a review. We're just going to go ahead and give it a quick page through with some, minor opinions as they go. Does that count as a review? No, because I really haven't given it enough attention. It's just a general opinion from the onset. So, okay. And just taking a look at inside, we have a wonderful map here with notations to the various pages that they belong. That's kind of neat. I like that. Hard to fold over there. And apologies once again if I still sound congested. It's going on, maybe 2 months now with the fighting the allergies back and forth with the constant weather fluctuations here in California between the heat and the cold, the barometer swinging all over the place, stuff pollinating, stuff dying. It just plays havoc. And I pretty much walk around in a constant haze. That is absolutely no fun. And I sound like any moment that there's going to be a giant snot bubble that's just popping through my eye socket. Vivid picture. Okay, so what we have here, what is this adventure about? So this is another fulfillment from the wonderful adventures that came with the last Old School Essentials Kickstarter in the similar aesthetic. So you have a nice little matching look and style for your shelf. But about this particular adventure, Holy Mountain Shaker HMS is a mid-level old school essential adventure for 4 or so players journeying into the mythic underworld beneath an earthquake-racked mountain. The quakes are caused by the periodic flailing of the god Carp. Okay, so it's a carp that dwells at the mountain's heart. Okay, so character levels 5 through 6. This is interesting because one of the things about Old School Essentials is it's based upon old school D&D, and your characters, depending on what you do and how you adventure, they're not going to hit these levels anytime soon. We've been playing off and on in an old school Essentials. Keep on the Borderlands. We've been using Old School Essentials for that, and playing off and on for a few months now, and barely reaching level 2. So that old school flair of you don't see level 5 as quickly as you would in current D&D and 5e. 5e is kind of like you feel like that's the point where people kind of get to, and they tend to normalize things at that instance. 5 is a far off dream in Old School Essentials for quite a few people, but anyway, so we go through the standard introduction with additional campaign setting. There's a little bit of information about the 2 distinct parts of the adventure. There and back again, the characters venture beneath the holy mountain to discover the cause of the earthquakes. And next, whether or not they placated the god Carp, they must return to the surface as the mythic underworld collapses around them. So interesting. So I assume that when things get hot and heavy, there's going to be a rush to return. You're going to be under the watchful eye of a clock as your adventurers make their way back. The holy mountain and the town. Okay. A random chart for earthquakes. A random chart for small treasures entering the mountain. Breakdown of the timeline, which is helpful, especially in something where time is of the essence in your adventure, and having a timeline to keep your GM on track is a wonderful tool, and it's something that you can utilize, make yourself after reading the adventure, but having this is definitely a plus when dealing with things such as that. Mechanics involving a point crawl adventuring. Oh, excuse me. Sequence of play per watch. The watch. Parts of the cave point crawl, exploring a region, imprecise distances, so on and so forth. So this particular adventure, just without even first time opening or not knowing anything about it, even when I received the PDF, I didn't get a chance to look at it. But so suggestions on how to properly handle a point crawl adventure, which is a lot more than just, hey, which hex do I go and what happens in this hex? Most of them do kind of incorporate some sort of, asset management, as far as, and also travel management, distance management, movement management. These kind of things all fall into play for in my opinion, in what would be considered a standard point crawl adventure. It's just not, move our token, one way or another, and see what happens. There's more things involved, and of course, more importantly, things such as resting, getting lost. It could happen. Hurrying as opposed to taking your time in case you are being pursued or need to get somewhere quickly. Here we are, some information on the creatures around the mountain, area descriptions. So I think here we're going to get into the meat of the adventure. So let's see here. Underground river, and okay, and I, hey, we're all adults here. This is an adventure. If you're going to be playing within this, you should know better by now that there's probably going to be spoilers involved, even how brief they might be. So, as much as I believe in spoiler warnings to a certain degree, come on, people have to take their own responsibility for things such like this. So if I happen to hit something that spoils it, you have been warned from this point on. So, interesting bit of artwork here. This, when I first saw this, is that Tintin? It does have a little bit of a Tintin look to this adventure here. I am not familiar. Who is the artist? Let me take a look here. Sorry about this. I'm backing up. Let's see here. Illustrate. Oh, it's Luka. Luka has done the illustrations here. Okay, backing up. Okay, so here we have information on what's called the Hermes mine. So as you can tell, these pages here, or this information, I think it's notating back to the map here, which you'd be referencing, and back and forth. Also providing you information to what's adjacent to you. So this is a neat little mechanic. Hex crawling, there's a lot of things. You could be moving around, backtracking, getting lost means that you might be going back and forth to some areas, and knowing what's nearby and what page to flip to, depending on which path they take, ahead of time is very helpful, rather than having to flip back and forth to the map. So this is a nice, neat little bit of a GM management here. And the Needle Gnome Outpost, and we'll just I'm going to flip through the rest, because I know this is an adventure, there's spoilers and whatnot, so, but more importantly, just kind of taking a look at the different aspects. They tend to follow the same functionality. The artwork is cohesive, and layout is nice, so, and here we are, and near the end. So challenges and the collapse. So, okay, so yeah, this is if they're returning, as said in the adventure, once they complete the task at hand, they have to return to the surface, I believe. So various collapse checks and challenges can be applied as they return back to the surface following their adventure. And here's the back. So, Holy Mountain Shaker. Thunder and quake have come to Old Town. Towers crumble, homes tumble, the quick become the dead. What omen could be more obvious? The pharaoh fish under the mountain is displeased. The god must be propitiated. Propitiated? Oh, I don't know what that word is. I will look it up. Propitiated. Yep, that's what it is. Sorry. Brave heroes must venture to buy the city's salvation. At the very least, the town council needs to appear in control and send some experts into the depths. So, are you patsies going out to placate the town council and the people of the village, or are you heroes actually going down to make a difference and make your way back to save the day? Who knows? That's what you'll find out in the adventure. So, fantasy point crawl for characters of 5th to 6th level, utilizing the old school essentials, classic fantasy or advanced fantasy. Another wonderful addition to the Kickstarter fulfillment. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a moment to take a look at this adventure more in depth. I did see a couple questions kind of creep up on social media regarding this particular adventure. Some people said that they were kind of confused about a couple things, so I'd be interested to kind of maybe put this to the top of the heap and just look into it to see what they mean by that. Asking people, have they played this adventure, and how do they feel about what's provided within it. A couple people had a bit of an issue. So seems a bit odd because of what the tools that are provided in the book as far as assisting a GM with how to utilize a hex crawl adventure. Several things in here to guide your hand and make sure you run it with relative ease. So just seeing what I see in the book, I would be very curious to know what they mean in more detail. But anyways, that concludes this completely unprofessional unboxing. No cuts this time. The steak knife still remains my my cutting tool until I accidentally cut myself and decide to go with a more professional option. But old school essentials, official adventure scenario, Holy Mountain Shaker by Luka Rejec. I should look up how to pronounce these things before I get on here, but that would make it professional. So last unboxing for a while, I believe, and I will be back soon. With what type of video, I don't know. But in the meantime, look for me and likewise Keith from rollingboxcars.com and our next up-and-coming episode of Titterpigs, the podcast that we do just about whatever is on our mind in regards to what's happening in the role-playing world. So, have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time.